welcome to another edition of your Wednesday night sports delight, the Platform Sporstalk Show.
Question is, did she subscribe?
Right.
I don't know, she's down on YouTube.
Representing from the Boondocks. What up, Jobo?
Hello, what's up? Happy Wednesday.
What up? She repping her Hey Sister Soldier look right now. Everybody give it up for Bunny. What's happening, Bunny?
What up? Happy hump day.
T-Bone, what's going on, brother?
I'm back, and I don't know about better than ever, but I'm back.
What is going on, party people? It is your Wednesday night sports delight, the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth. I think that may be on the highlight reel tape. And we're glad that you are tuning in live along with the millions
And millions
of the Platform Sports Talk Show fans on once again your Wednesday night sports delight.
Really?
Or
Brinks truck backing up in his driveway with
There you go.
97 million. There you go.
all you hear is this.
It's always somebody who's doing something to give back and letting the next generation.
Say straight.
Have me syrup on here.
Come on now, don't hit me tear up. You know I get emotional.
But people watching around the world, no pressure. And we already have our favorite fan, Miss Williams, saying welcome, Brandon.
Well, how are you? Hi, Ms. Williams.
A guy who tried to give it his all and put on for the city, to be truthful. Because like I said, I'm St. Louis die hard.
The views of Smooth does not reflect the Platform Sports Talk Show or its sponsors.
What is going on, party people? I'm back, your boy Smooth. It is your Wednesday night sports delight, the Platform Sporstalk Show, and thank you all for tuning in on a glorious, and I mean glorious, Wednesday. The weather is right. The Midwest feeling real good. It's about 80 degrees right now, so it's about to get hot, and more hot. Shouts out to our favorite fan, Miss Williams. As you can see, for those watching for the very first time, leave a comment. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, your comments will be shown on the screen, as you see from my favorite fan, Miss Dub. So leave them comments. If you're on Twitter, unfortunately, we can't have it pulled up on the screen, so you got to be on either Facebook or on YouTube and leave them comments so I can see them. And we can have your comments posted on the screen throughout the show. We have another exciting show for y'all. Go ahead and get them likes and shares going. And go ahead and bring in the first person. This woman here, she held things down, did an incredible job last week for Ladies Night, as she was the host on the last minute spot. But she was a pro with it. She did her thing. And shouts out to my cousin who did a wonderful job as the guest, Raquel Simpson. It was an amazing interview on Ladies Night. But this lady here, she held things down. She's a star. She's getting booked for everybody now. ESPN getting at her, Fox Sports, they all getting at her like, hey, we got to have her as a guest. We got to have her as a host, on our shows. She's from the Boondocks. Jobo, what's going on?
You crazy. What's up? Happy Wednesday. Oh, Lord.
Wednesday.
You know,
Yeah,
I was nervous going into it. You know that. But I will say I went upstairs and I had a little bit of a high afterwards, and Brendan was proud of me. So it's whatever.
Exactly. Like, hey, that's my baby right there. I know her. That's my baby.
Yeah.
What's going on? That was my fellow church member, choir member, Chris. He was a former guest on the show, Christopher Scott. So shouts out to you. Once again, get them likes, get them shares going. And yeah, so once again, Joe, you know, I said it after the show. I said it via in the group text, but you did amazing. Miss Dub, there you go, showing you love as well. But yeah,
I don't know if I would have been able to do it if Miss Dub wasn't there, you know, asking questions, though. I'm being serious, you know. Like, she usually keeps the shows moving for us. So that was nice having her on.
And once again, for those watching for the first time, thank y'all very much. Bring them comments, because the show is better when we engage with those who's watching along with us. Up next, she in the kitchen. She getting things together. Y'all know how she do. She missed multitasking. She was out of town last week, but she's back. She's ready. She got some opinions. One that I can't wait to get her opinion on, because she wasn't on last week. So I definitely got to get her viewpoint on a particular topic. I think Joe already knows. But Bunny, what's happening?
What up? What up? Happy Hump Day.
Happy
Hump Day.
Hump it up.
Uh-oh.
I
Going back to the apology. Man, yeah. And you know, Joe, she held it down. Did you get the opportunity to watch the interview?
Oh, wait, not live. I saw the interview, but not live.
Right.
I will say this, awesome job holding it down, Jobo. And as I told you, my phone was dying right before I started the show. But I meant to say, if nothing else, drink alcohol. Makes everything easier.
Fred told me that too before the show.
I mean, I'm not saying that for personal experience or anything. It's what I heard. Wink, wink.
Yeah, you've heard that before. No, I had a drink, but it was like warm by the time show ended. I felt like I was talking so much, so whatever.
So congratulations on holding it down, having a good interview, and again, once you get to talking, just like our guests, they think it's going to be get to going smooth, regular dialogue like the person on your couch. So
yeah, and it was nice to learn about some golf, something different.
Yes.
Right. Right. And if y'all didn't see the interview, you can go on Facebook, on Twitter, on Roku, on YouTube. You can just watch the archives. I just posted the reel as well on our Twitter page and Facebook and Instagram as well. So you can watch a few of the highlights from last week. Once again, it was an incredible interview with my cousin, Raquel Simpson, and Miss Dub showing you love, Bunny.
What up, Miss Dub? Look, I'm coming back from vacation. I already need another one, but I'm telling you, even though I missed it, I'm glad I got away. Had a great time in South Beach. You really looking
Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself.
get away from
Yep.
work to the daily grind. You just need to breathe to get away, and it was much needed and much fun times, y'all.
I got a
Nice.
Thursday off later on this month, and I'm excited as hell. It's a Thursday. I still gotta work on Friday and Wednesday, but I'm excited.
Up next, this man is on his bike. He is sweating profusely, but he's ready to talk his stuff, give his opinion as well. He's probably traveling from St. Louis to Orlando on his bike right now, if y'all see him. But T-Bone Funk, what's going on with you?
Woo! It's a long ride. But hey y'all, it's been a few weeks, so figure I'd hop on for a little bit as long as I can here. See what's going on in the world of sports and see what's up with y'all.
There it is. And T-Bone, I kind of brought up a little bit, but how can people check out the Platform Sports Talk Show for those watching for the very first time?
Well, if this is your first time, there's plenty of ways out there. The most popular way, of course, is YouTube. You can check us out on YouTube, the Platform Sports Talk Show. And hey, when you go ahead and watch us, make sure y'all listen to us. Go ahead and hit that like. Go ahead and hit that subscribe. And then after you do that, go ahead and hit that. That's right, hit that bell. That's right, because that way when we go live, you will be
notified.
That's right. You can check us out on the Roku channel. We got a channel on Roku. You can go ahead and send your emails to platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. Hit us up on Instagram at Platform Sports Talk, Facebook, the Platform Sports Talk Show, Twitter at 314 Sports Talk. And hey, we always got to talk about Hot 365 Radio, where it's always hot out there. You can check us out on there. Well, they got a Twitch channel. See, you can even find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Hot365 Radio. You'll be able to check out the Platform Sports Talk Show that you're listening to right now. You'll also be able to check out the first show of the month, the Ladies' Night. That's right, the first Wednesday of the month. You can be able to check out the whole crew. We talked about Joe, Bunny, and the rest of the crew out there. You get to know them. You find out exactly what their opinions are. And hey, don't worry. It's not just Ladies' Night, because the last Wednesday of the month is the Man Cave. That's right, I'm usually there for that too. And you'll be able to check out the panel of fellas and see what all the opinions are. And I got to tell you, we disagree a lot. All right?
Do they?
We disagree a lot, but we always have fun. And that's the most important part about sports, having fun. So you know what? Go ahead and check us out. Subscribe, like, and all that stuff on all our social medias. And we will bring a show to you that you will enjoy every single week.
There it is. Appreciate it, T-Bone. And before I proceed any further, I do have to put this on the screen right now, because I know that we have a lot of new people who is tuning in and we're looking forward to our special guest this evening. But as of this morning, unfortunately, he had to reschedule, and because of a prior engagement that he just found out this morning that he's going to be taking part of. So unfortunately, we cannot have our special guest on this evening. But we would definitely work on getting him rescheduled as soon as possible, so we can have his wonderful story told on our platform. So definitely stay with us, because we still got a whole lot of great stuff to talk about in regards to St. Louis and all the surrounding states and around the country in regards to the world of sports. But once again tonight, our special guest who we had planned on being on the show tonight, he had to go ahead and back out. He apologizes about it, but we would definitely get him back on very, very, very soon. So with that being said, it's time for, of course, our normal first topic. You now have my attention. What sports story or story has your attention? And Bunny, you be gone for a minute, so what has your attention?
Well, where do we start? No, I'm just playing. I'm not gonna do y'all like that. It could be a couple of things, but I'm excited NBA playoffs, but the NBA playoffs will look a little different with the playing games, specifically with the team Minnesota Timberwolves. So apparently one of their star players, Rudy Gobert, didn't do a Draymond Green, but close enough. In the game, in the huddle, got into it with a teammate and did a little chest move real quickly on him. I mean, I know y'all got a little ego, testosterone sometimes and gets a little tested, but I don't know about self-control in that situation where could it have been done? Yes, but he didn't do it. He didn't care, and now he's suspended, and it cost them a game yesterday because they lost, and that could have been different for them for the playoffs. But here nor there, that has my attention, and bring on these NBA playoffs. Woohoo! You excited?
Yeah, man. Rudy Gobert. Ever since that whole COVID thing, he just been like public enemy number one in regards to sports athletes.
Self-control, y'all. Don't get up. It does not get old. Self-control. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, he's been like regarded around the league as someone who people call soft too. And you know, he's like 7'1", 7'2". He has won, I think, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, but he's still not respected as someone that you fear. And then seeing what he did this past weekend, you know, it's like, I don't know, man. You looking quite soft. I think his own teammate called him a beast.
That pie happened. He got probably caught
Right.
So I'm just saying. I know people get into it all the time as teammates, but he couldn't hold back. So maybe he got. I don't know. Get your stuff together. It cost your team, well, not him alone, but his presence not there yesterday made a difference in the playing games. Because the Lakers should have lost that. I mean, shout out to them winning, but Gobert would have made a difference.
All right, T-Bone, what has your attention?
You know, I haven't been able to catch the Cardinals games like I'd like to because of stuff that we talked about on the show. You know, the viewership and being able to watch games and, you know, when they come on, unless you got select services. But, you know, man, every time I check the standings.
Oh, come on!
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. What's happening? Y'all were telling me that this is the type of team that seems like it should have some high hopes. And right now, they just look like dreams.
So pretty much, it's been a nightmare for real.
Where's the lie? Good job, T-Bone. Where's the lie?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
I'll wait. I'll wait to chime in until we get into the Cardinals part of the show.
Right. Joe, you up next.
All right, so I know we have a section for the Blues, but I don't really want to talk too much about the Blues because it's nothing good. So they're part of my "You Got My Attention," and I seen this today. I'm gonna read it off. It's a very bad year this year. We're not gonna get the first overall pick, but there's like percentage chances that we could. But here we go. In the last 10 years, the Blues rank first in wins and percentage points and playoff appearances, playoff wins, and we're tied third for the Stanley Cup. So that's my positives for the Blues this year. Really crappy year. We haven't talked about the Blues in like a month, I feel like, on the show, and
You haven't. Nope.
you know, and so that's why I told Brent, I was like, I think I'm gonna make this my "You Got My Attention" because there's not really much to talk about. There's like a game or two left. Playoffs start like mid next week. It's gonna be weird not seeing the Blues in there. Got a lot of former Blues players to cheer on if that's your thing, but it's been a weird year, and I'm like sad but kind of excited to see how it's gonna go next year. You know, going into this year, I didn't think this was a Stanley Cup contending team, but I thought we were definitely a playoff team because we had a lot of talent. So I don't know. It's been a weird looking team most of the year this year. So it's gonna be really weird moving forward. And Army's got a very big task at hand this summer and at the draft.
So ever since the trade deadline, of course, we got rid of Ryan O'Reilly and Vladimir Tarasenko and who was the other one? Mikola.
Yeah, and Nola Achari or whatever his name is.
Right. But ever since we traded those guys, would you say that this team has actually looked better because of the acquisition that we brought in?
Yeah, I mean, I I think the Tarasenko thing, if he was traded last year, even like he didn't want to be here. It's not that he didn't love St. Louis. He loved St. Louis. He didn't want to be playing on with this organization, and I don't think he like loved the game that he loves playing here. So I think he was hurting you more than helping you out. O'Reilly has been hurt a lot. They traded his best friend and his right hand man, and so I don't think that really helped us out as a team or him out. But yeah, I mean, some of these guys we got, they played more of that Craig Berube style play. I feel like, so that's going to be the main thing moving forward. Is Craig Berube going to be able to, you know, is he going to be able to adapt with how not baseball, with how hockey's being played? Because that's something like with some of these old time baseball coaches, they had to adapt with the new times, analytics. Berube is going to have to do the same thing, and but I do think some of these guys that they could do a little bit of both of Berube play and the analytic speed play.
So with the Blues pretty much being out of the playoff scene since about early February, has your attention to hockey the rest of the season pretty much changed in regards to you not really watching as much hockey since the Blues been out of it?
And I'll definitely say we haven't watched as much hockey as we have in the past. We've been paying attention to like Tank and O'Reilly on their different teams. Really been paying attention to Connor McDavid, who's got like 150 something points, which is absolutely insane. It's like he's playing in the 90s again. Paying attention to OV and his career goals. Is he going to pass up Wayne Gretzky? It's obviously not going to happen this year, but we've been paying attention to things like that. But other than like, we used to sit down and just when we're bored watch hockey games. We didn't really do that much. Like, we've been doing that with baseball because that's just who we are. But hockey, we used to be able to do that too. And this year, I don't know, the Blues have just been so bad. It kind of just like turned me off to hockey this year. I just didn't really want anything to do with it, honestly.
Like the only thing that's been good about the Blues over the last few months is our newest acquisition. Boosie badass.
Ready to represent Boosie.
He came
in a Blues jersey.
and on to the Lou a few days ago. Him, T.I., Young Jeezy had a surprise performance by Nelly. I believe Spice One was in town and Twister. And as you see, Boosie rocking the jersey that now I'm about to go ahead and cop. Get my own little name customized and everything and numbers. So shouts out to Boosie. But that's been like the best thing that's going on with the Blues over the last few months because on the ice, this hasn't been quite right. Even though, like I said before, the new acquisitions have been playing much better. The team has been playing much better since they had new acquisitions. Problem is just a little bit too late. Now, what has my attention is he's a GOAT in his sport. And I was saying this about Serena Williams, even after she had her child and how she had her health issues after that. I've always felt like, you know what, it's time for her to go and hang it up. She's done great in tennis, but she just doesn't have that because her body would not allow it to make it happen anymore, especially in regards to winning majors. And I feel like the last week's competition at the Masters, the same thing goes for Tiger Woods. As you know, he played 3 rounds, got to that Saturday and had to quit because, of course, you had the bad weather. And, of course, he had his tragic car accident a couple years ago where he almost lost his leg. And, of course, they say he still got the swing, still got the power. But the problem is going from one hole to another, all that walking, especially after day 1 and then day 2 and then here come day 3, it takes a toll. And it looked like that. I mean, he looked like he needed a wheelchair or something after a few hits. And I just feel like now, and I've been saying this for a minute now, but I definitely feel now because it just gets worse and worse no matter what event he does. But it's time for Tiger Woods to go in and say, hey, I've done the best I could, but it's time for me to go ahead and just focus on my health and stop playing golf. Or if you do play golf, play at tournaments where you can use, a cart to go from, hole to hole. But in regards to you having to walk 18 holes, I think it's the wrap. What y'all think?
So I wanted to ask about that because I was following along with that, and I saw he made the cut. What, 2 days, right? Until like
Right,
Saturday, and Saturday was when he withdrew.
right.
So I so you probably saw the visuals that I didn't see because my interpretation of it may have been more that he was making the cuts, but I wonder if there's the doubt in his mind of if he thought he could win the tournament, that made him say, you know what, I made it this far. I'm just going to go ahead and get out now because mentally maybe he didn't think he could continue. Maybe not continue, but maybe he didn't. It's his Masters, and you don't know if it's your last Masters, and there could be that thought of, am I gonna win? Is it my time? If it's not, maybe he doesn't want that feeling of disappointment. So withdraw early than to keep on. But if you're saying it looked like he was in pain, I guess that's a different story.
Yeah, they had a few videos showing him walking, and it looked like he was just wobbling and everything, trying to walk from one hole to another. I mean, he looked like he was about 80 years old, and he's right at 50 something or 50.
But I say he's different from Serena because even Serena, it was just she wasn't winning she wasn't winning in the finals or semifinals. She was still competing at a high level through most of the time. She
would at least get to the first round more than likely. She wouldn't even be out of it until we got further into it. So
yeah, no, there was a few
it's good competition still.
Yeah, there was a few surprises here or there, but more than likely you would expect her to still be in the semifinals or finals. But Tiger's just been a whole different story because of the injuries.
And the way that, to me, how was it looking? Yeah, I remember when Jordan did his second round, his second career when he went with the Wizards. Okay. So he still had some in his tank. It still wasn't the same because, who was undefeated by the time. So it could be equating that with Tiger. So I wouldn't necessarily say you can quit, but just don't bank on him doing all the tournaments on the tour. And definitely you want him to still be competing because he has a son. If his son can be great like him or close enough, that'd be exciting for the next generation to see a great golfer, especially coming from the Tiger Woods gene pool, IJS.
Yeah, like I said, I just feel like to me, unless it's a tournament where he can use one of those carts or the little scooter where you can just put like your knee on there and kind of just scoot over something. Other than that, I just can't see him doing any more tournaments, especially any majors, because he did look very, very bad shape.
But here's the thing:
PGA is so stickler with their rules. I don't see them letting them have it. They are stickler. You can't even have certain attire on, not even the pants and shorts thing. But I'm talking about. You have a sweater vest, or you got the argyle. It's so detailed and so stupid. So I don't see them letting them have anything to help them get.
The golf cart thing I can understand, but I would say about him, it's like, wouldn't he already know if he could walk those? He would be practicing that way, right? Like he would have practiced that to know if he could walk it or not. So I don't know. I think that him. It almost seems more like he's a tool for the PGA to get viewers at this point as a special attraction, more so than a competitor. Because he would know if he could walk that full 18 holes or not.
But see, here's the thing, and this is what sources are saying is that he's not even swinging a golf club until days leading up to that to that big tournament. So days before or weeks before, he's not swinging. He's not walking courses. He just, probably just at home or, going to his practice spot. So he's not used to walking 18 holes constantly like other golfers are. So when he gets out there like he did this past weekend, then his body, like his mind can say, oh yeah, I can do it. I can make off days. But then your body is saying something different because of how it's reacting, especially when it's bad weather as well.
Well, if that's the case, then that's more on him, more so than it is even his body catching up with him. Because all he'd have to do is, find himself his own version of Forest Park, walk around the trail a few times a week, get himself into the walking shape, But so
But you talking like he just need to get up and do it. Like he didn't have 2 big knee surgeries and back problems over the years. It ain't like he's just somebody that just got father time. He's had physical ailments. But it seems to our eyes like, oh, it should be easy to recuperate. But he knows it ain't that easy.
But no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you'll know if you can do something if you do it or not. Like if he's not walking the courses or anything like that ahead of time and just going in there thinking, oh yeah, I can do it. That's not how that's going to work. That'd be like me trying to go work a wrestling match right now. No,
I don't believe though Tiger Woods been in the game this long, y'all, over 20 years. That man thinking he ain't never been in any of these courses. He knows that. Everybody knows about Augusta, Georgia. Everybody knows where the Masters play. He knows that backwards and forward. I don't believe that he don't think I need to go out there and try the day before to be a winner. Like he knows he probably needs more days to swing, but he can't do it. Now I'm just saying he's not going to mentally give up or physically. But he been doing it too long to think, okay, I don't need to go out there. He knows better, but he's still gonna try until his body physically breaks down on the golf course. You know how people got the passion for the game? They don't hang it up until physically they can't walk out there.
I just think that's setting himself up for failure, though. Because if you don't know that you can go the full, however many 18 holes, the distances that go to it. Yeah, he knows what 25-year-old Tiger could do. He knows what 20-year-old Tiger could do. But 50-whatever-year-old Tiger is not the same person, especially post-injuries and stuff. Like, it seems to me like to the whole point of this we think it's time for him to hang it up. He should know if he can physically do it or not, instead of just trying to wing it.
But it's kind of like similar to Adam Wainwright. Remember, Joe, I was telling you a while back how like certain athletes have that mindset of, being the ultimate optimist until you get out there and then something can derail, your optimism. And that's what's going on with Tiger Woods is that, of course, you're going to feel like, yeah, I can do all 4 holes because that's just like Ms. Williams said, that competitive nature and mindset. He going to always feel like, oh, yeah, I can do it until reality hits. And that's what's going on is that reality is just hitting them and it's hitting them hard.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit about Yachty too, though. Yachty, I mean, dude just kept resigning. And like me as like one of the biggest Yachty fans, I loved it. But I will say it got a little rough there towards the end watching him. He just wanted to play, but you could tell he wasn't himself. He had all these injuries. His knees were killing him. So, but real quick on this whole golf thing, did you guys see those trees fall down?
Yes.
Was anyone like badly injured, or I haven't really seen anything about it.
There was no reports of anyone hurt, but it was just crazy seeing that video and seeing I think it was 3 trees that fell down.
Scary.
Right. All that money to be a member there, and they can't get the trees together. Okay.
Someone said that was somebody from Live Golf.
Look, the way the PJ Tour and Live Golf is beefing, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's getting real in them golf streets, okay?
The golf streets.
The bottom line with Tiger is he learned the difference between muscle memory and muscle amnesia. His muscles don't remember, okay? That's all it is.
Miss Dub says, we've seen that with other athletes. Even Larry Holmes did that. Retired undefeated, then came back and wasn't the same. Yeah. That's that mindset these athletes be having. They be like, I can do it. I can make it happen. And all of a sudden, boom.
Hard to walk away, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. Once again, this is your Wednesday night sports delight, the Platform Sporstalk Show. And right now, it's time for our baseball segment. And of course, because it's the Cardinals, I got to make up a cool little name. So right now, we just flipping the bird, y'all. We flipping the bird, talking about the Cardinals.
Can I say something real quick before we start this segment?
Go ahead, Joe.
All right, so you came up with the segment title for the Blues, Joe's Got the Blues, and we just so happen to have a very bad freaking year. And now you're starting us off with a negative Cardinals segment name. So I see the Cubs winning the NL Central in our near future.
Uh-oh. If it happens, we got to make sure that we jot down this day, 4/12/23, and see if it comes.
Write that down.
Write that down, Dan.
I'm gonna have to hop off, but I will be listening because I want to hear what's going on with the Cardinals from our expert panel here that we have that knows all about them. So I'm gonna have to hop off.
All right, see you later.
All right,
Kevin.
T-Bone, you have a good one, man.
All right, T. But thanks for burning up calories for me. Appreciate it.
Miss Dub said so. It's all Fred's fault.
Long story short, yes.
We gonna see. We gonna see. I mean, it ain't my fault. These teams coming out, starting out bad, give me momentum to think of a name. But hey, right now, we flipping the bird.
Let me start off with something positive for the Cardinals. I'm over here going through my baseball cards. Let's start off with this young man. It's hard to see because it's at a top loader. That is Jordan Walker, 20-year-old Jordan Walker. Guy might be the real deal, guys. He might be the real deal.
You said might be. He is.
We're 12 games in, okay? Like I told Danny Mac, I've told you guys multiple times, I'm not going to sit here and compare him to Michael Nelson Trout and Aaron Judge. And I can't do that just yet. He's 20 years old, but started off his young career with a 12-game hitting streak. And it's crazy. It's like they said on the broadcast today, it's like first time going to these stadiums, first time seeing any of these pitchers, first time traveling like this. And he's just taking it like a pro. Listen to him talk. It doesn't even sound like he's 20. He sounds like a grown-ass man up there talking. So it's been exciting to watch. He's been the main thing I'm looking forward to when I turn on the Cardinals game. Back in the day, it used to be the Yachties and whatnot. Now I'm excited to turn on the game and watch Jordan Walker and, see what he's going to do that night.
And now he just had another MLB record in regards to 12 games to start off the season with a base hit. And this is a guy, and I mean, I seen this last year in the minor leagues and then how he carried himself doing spring training. But he is someone unlike other guys who we brought up, other prospects like Dylan Carlson, like O'Neal and other guys. He just has a different way about him in regards to he embraces the challenge of wanting to be that guy or step up and be a difference maker. He just different. And yeah, exactly, Miss Dub. Shades of Cool Papa Bell got his name because he was so unflappable. But yes, Jordan Walker just has this coolness about him. Like he wants that pressure. He embraces that pressure. It's like nothing can phase this guy. And if you get him out on one pitch, the next at bat, he's gonna figure you out, and then boom, base hit right past your ear. So, as you said earlier, Joe, we're not gonna put him in the ranks of Aaron Judge and Michael, what's his name, Nelson Trout, but
some guy like that.
But he is on the path of like I can wait to see him in the next 3 to 4 years because he's gonna fill out even more. You know what I'm saying? He's only 20 years old.
You said he's gonna fill out more. This dude's 6'6", 250.
Right. So, I mean, but just imagine having 1 year after year after year continue to work on your body to get ripped, to get that more solid, and then having the knowledge of knowing how to adjust each year as a baseball player. I asked this question before, but I think we now have our answer. I think I had a segment a few months ago about who's going to be the next face of the Cardinals. Jordan Walker is going to be the next face.
I figured that last year, all the hype they gave him, and he lived up to it. He should be. I mean, for now, at least until we see something go wrong morally or injury-wise, he should be good.
Yeah,
It's still probably like right at the second, the Goldie and Nados. But I mean, by the end of the year, if he's still playing the way he's playing, holding himself up the way he is and whatnot, it's like he's only going to get better. And I thought something was, I didn't read the whole article, but I saw some of it about how one of the guys that's really been there to help him grow pretty much is Juan Yepes. And
yeah, I saw that too.
That's kind of cool because, like Albert was that guy for Yepes last year, and now, Jordan Walker's getting through the grapevines some sort of Albert Pujols mentorship, and I don't know, it's pretty cool. I can't wait to see what else. It's nice to finally have someone on the team besides the Goldianados that are getting some attention on, on social media, and for good reason, not for Tyler O'Neill reasons and Ali Marmol reasons and stuff like that. It's nice to see that one of baseball's top prospects that this time's finally a Cardinal is so far shaping out to be the real deal.
Yep. And what are your thoughts right now? We know that, of course, the season is still young. It's been just a week and some change. The Cardinals have now won 2 in a row. They won a series in Colorado. First time in 7 years they've won back-to-back games at Colorado. They are now 5-7, so they're 2 games behind 500. 3 games back of the Brewers right now in the NL Central. But, Joe, what has been your thoughts in regards to the season so far?
It's crazy. It's April 12th and it's a roller coaster already, and it should not feel that way. I will say one thing. Everyone in the world, other fan bases, this fan base, we all knew that the pitching is not going to be good, and so far it's, we're proven to be right. You got Mozeliak talking out his butt during the winter warm-up saying that we got 6-man rotation and we don't need anyone, yada yada yada. And obviously right now that's the biggest concern. You barely have, I think we have like maybe 3 quality starts so far in the whole year. Woodford, he looked great in spring training, hasn't looked great yet, but I can't just sit there and bug him about it, because the whole rotation hasn't really looked good, with the exception of one Monty start and I guess Flaherty today. He was okay for his first game at Coors Field, but that's been my biggest concern, since the start of it all. The offense has been up and down. Hopefully these 2 games in Coors really get the guys going. I would say that, us playing Pittsburgh at home for 4 games would help us a lot, but Pittsburgh's been playing okay this year thus far. So I don't know. It's, like I said, it's April 12th and it's a roller coaster ride, and it shouldn't be like that yet.
But honestly, Jobo, look at the last few years. I mean, this is what Cardinal Nation is used to. I mean, y'all may not like it, but used to. If it's not roller coaster in April, it's going to be roller coaster in May. I always tell y'all this. The true Cardinals, who you have on your roster ready to roll, is when the All-Star break hits. Wherever we are there, that's when okay, we going to get it going or we're going to flop and not make the playoffs. It's still so early. I know we got the team like the Rays undefeated. I know we talking about the Stros are still good and other good teams out there. But it's still, again, April 12th, as you're saying. We ain't done the full 30 days of baseball yet. So I wouldn't hit the panic button now. Yes, the pitching, as you said, we already know we can roll so many tapes from the last few months about the Cardinals in the offseason, not doing anything about pitching. We knew that was going to be our weakness. Here it is coming to fruition. Here it is, Mo's doing the same stuff, blowing smoke. But hey, he'll make a move before the deadline, and then he'll definitely do by the deadline, get another pitcher. But he's going to coast this off as long as the Cardinals don't get too far behind in the division. He'll let this ride out. Like I said, he'll probably do 1 trade or 2 maybe for pitching, but it's not going to happen to the deadline. But that's when he'll see if the Cardinals can really make a push or not. They still more about money and saving, not spending a lot, but being competitive with people in the stadium. That's exactly what the Cardinals play is. Tell me if I'm wrong, please.
Well, I'll say one thing is, years past, right now, I wouldn't be feeling the way I feel about the team. But the thing is last year we won our division and we were playing in a wild card round. So like I don't want to do that again. Like if you play good in April and May, you could possibly be up there with the likes of the Dodgers or the Astros or last year the Mets. And with how strong the NL is, it's really not going to happen if you're not going to be able to play, at least 500 baseball in the early months. So that's the thing that's annoying about it, is we're most likely, if we win the division, we're going to be another wild card, have 2, maybe 3 games tops in the playoffs because our bats don't show up in the playoffs, and that's that. Like, I don't know. That's the only reason why I'm a little more like annoyed by it this early this year, because what we saw last year, like it doesn't matter if you won the division. So yeah.
And just to add on to what Joe was saying, I believe this is probably what a lot of other baseball fans are saying as well, is that we've seen this pattern for the last couple of years, and we've all seen the end result. As Joe said, it's wild card, and then that's it. Wild card game 2 years ago. Then you have wild card round. So the last 2 years or so, you've seen the end result. There is nothing that's showing us, hey, this team is different. I can see this team beating the Braves. I can see this team beating the Phillies. There's nothing that we're seeing at this time because of previous seasons now that there's no confidence saying, yeah, this is the team. Now, I'm not personally going to have any judgment until probably about May or June, because it is early, super early, and they are catching their stride. I feel like now we'll see, because now they got the Pirates coming up and the Diamondbacks before they go to Seattle. So before they go to Seattle in another week or two, but we should see how this team going to be looking and if they find a better rhythm before they go to Seattle.
D-backs are good. I don't know if you guys realize that, but they're a good ball club. They got a lot of young, really good talent. Corbin Carroll in center field. The dude's fast AF, and they got a good young team. I'm not saying they're gonna make the playoffs, but they're gonna be last year's Orioles, and so I don't think playing the D-backs isn't gonna be easy like it was in years past. It's not like, oh, here we go, 3 out of 4, let's go.
Right. But we shall see, man. As Wilson Contreras said the other day, the team is trying to find their rhythm, and hopefully these last 2 games are now coming up against Pittsburgh. The team can continue to find that rhythm, pitching and offensively. What are your thoughts in regards to, which of course has been the biggest subject of all of baseball, Joe, and that's been the shifts, but more importantly, the pitch clock. What are your thoughts on it now? It's been a few weeks since you've seen it. What are your thoughts in regards to how it's been changing the game of baseball?
The no shift thing I've enjoyed. Like you're seeing more base hits. That's what everyone wants, is more action, more, higher scores. I'm really loving it for Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker. But the pitch clock thing, like it's fine, but like I do think they need to tweak some things. And Max Scherzer's the most confusing guy in the world when it comes to it, because he was so excited and pro pitch clock, and then he was kind of iffy about it, saying it needs a tweak. And then before his last start, he said he felt exhausted, and he could barely catch his breath, and he was complaining about it. So I don't know. It is weird going to a baseball game, and the one that we went to last Monday, that was a very fast baseball game. It's definitely different. And I could also see some injuries possibly happening too, with, umpires not calling it in time when pitchers are like, they're about to go into their delivery right as the clock is hitting 0. And I've seen it already a couple times where pitchers are like stopping themselves mid-throw, or they have to snap it into the ground, and I guarantee you'll see someone get hurt, and that'll be some other topic to talk about. But all around, it's been fine.
I knew you were going to say something more anti-clock and pro-clock, because I know you like the traditional way of baseball. The way they're tweaking it, and they're going to do a little more changes with it, is equivalent to when people had to get adjusted to the shot clock being introduced to basketball. Granted, that was literally before any of us was born. But you have people like, oh, it's going to change the game. That's the purpose of it, to change the game, to enhance it. Just like, some people don't like the three-point shot. It's like, oh, too many people taking threes now. When you have stuff happen over time, people evolve and get adjusted to it. Same thing with the pitch clock. Over time, the up-and-coming pitchers, you're going to get adjusted to it, and they'll be good. With regarding that injury portion, if you in mid-throw, I think the rule they should tweak if it's not there. If you already started, let you finish it. And it's still, that's not going to be an extra, 5 seconds max? So that's not going to make or break it. But if you're talking about what people constantly got to start throwing in their stop because of the clock, I think that's going to be a tweak. And that's something that you can get involved in because of player safety and the arms of the pitchers you needed to last longer than just throwing one game here and there. So we'll see. But I'm for it. I like the faster pace. It's just the age we're in. Everything is more instant, more faster. That's just how it is. So keep it going, baseball. Keep making your changes. Y'all late to the game, but late than never, right?
And Miss Dub has a question. Do you think the Cardinals' issue is coaching or management not signing the right talent?
Management all day.
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly.
I still think it's more management. Before Marmol was there, we had Shield. Before Shield was there, you had Matheny. We can say what we want about the last few managers, and the fact is still the same. Management is not going to do a lot to increase the payroll. They can say they did when they finally got Arenado and Goldie's contract, but that's the start. But we know what is your basis of your defense in baseball. You're pitching. Hello, they've been doing it the same way for how many years? It starts with them. That's the problem. And again, as long as Cardinal Nation still shows up, even if we don't have a winning season this year and next year they're doing the same stuff, not getting better, people still showing up, management's not going to be forced to do changes. When it affects their pockets, then they'll be like, okay, we definitely got to start trading at the deadline or in the off season signing pitchers. Until then, as long as we keep getting the money in their pockets and it's like, okay, it's a good size year after year, they're not going to do changes. That's not how, what's his name? DeWitt roll. Y'all know that. That man cheaper than a prostitute out there on the street walking. All right, I'm just saying. We already know. Same stuff, different season, okay?
It is true, though. Like, we had to... So I've been on the show, 3-4 years now, and we talk about the same thing with the Cardinals every year. Like, it's sad, but, like, we're not the Royals, I guess, or we're not the Orioles where their front office talked them up all offseason saying they're going to spend all the money in the world, and they only sign Adam Frazier and Kyle Gibson, and that's it. So, like, I don't know. We're not tanking like they did to get Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson and, all these guys like that, but it's like, I think it's a little bit of both, honestly. Like, the front office, they're not making the right moves, attempting to sign anyone, and then, but like, it sucks with like Schilt last year, 2 years ago. He pretty much called out the front office for help, and he gets canned, and now they got someone who's more pro front office and buddy with them, and I don't know. It's been wild. I think it's both. That's all I gotta say. I think it's both management, players, front office, everything.
Yeah, to me, I feel like it's their philosophy as well. Because you recall a couple of years ago, Joe, how their emphasis was you want to get pitchers who are known to pitch to contact, so you can utilize our elite defense. But now that the shift has came and now has been affected, now you're seeing more of these base hits going to spots where if you had the shift going on, they will be stopping it. Because I think that's how they pretty much came up with the idea of getting pitchers in regards to who are good in regards to getting bat on ball and not strikeout stuff. And it looks like because of who we have on staff, Jack Flaherty used to be that guy that had that swing and miss stuff. But now you have a lot of guys, even Wainwright, who pitch the contact. And I think that could really be affecting our pitching staff, because who's on the team right now outside of Helsley and maybe Drew Verhagen, who's known to have swing and miss stuff that's pitching right now? It's probably not a lot.
Yeah, No, I'm honestly trying to think. I think Monty's last game against the Brewers, he struck out 9, and I was surprised by that. It's the people that won the World Series last year, the Houston Astros. They literally made records of strikeouts in the playoffs and in the World Series. The Phillies had a lot of swing and miss guys. The Padres swing and miss. If you want to go deep in the playoffs, you need swing and miss. I'm sorry. It's nice to have that one guy that's gonna ground ball after ground ball. Miles Michaelis, if he ever starts pitching better, he's that guy for us. But you need swing and miss, and it can't just be in your bullpen. You have to have a guy that can go out there, give you a quality start, and at least strike out 5 or 6, at least. Like that's all I'm asking for. But that's the hardest thing in the world with this staff, apparently. And again, I know it's early on. Miles has said it too. It's gonna change, yada yada yada. But it's just, why is it? I don't understand it. Like, why can you pitch so good in the WBC, and then you come up here and not even playing that great of teams, and you're getting hit around like that? It's annoying.
I will say this though: if the Cardinals were on a 5-game winning streak right now, we would not. We may be saying the same tune, but if it was in May and we was on an 8-game winning streak with everything the same, management. Oh, I'm sorry, the front office, the regular manager, and the players we have on paper, people won't be complaining as much. And my point is,
we'd be winning because of our offense, though, not because of our pitching.
Right, but we still would be like, we ever need to look at that, but it's not as urgent. Now everybody's like, because it's urgent because we're losing, but it should be urgent all the time. We've been saying it, like, again, go back 4 years ago, roll all back the tapes here, y'all. We've been saying the same thing. So only because we're losing, we're winning, people won't be talking about it as much, but it still needs to be emphasized. Eventually, it's going to fall apart, like you said earlier. We can't make it to the playoffs barely with this what we have now. We know pitching has to change. If everybody in the Central Division sat there and had injuries or something where it was just not competitive and the Cardinals run away with it like usually, going to the playoffs, we're going to lose. That's what we have now. But still, front office not going to change it. It's just, they're satisfied with how the structure of the Cardinal way is. The Cardinal way worked 10 years ago. It doesn't work now, but they're not going to change it as long as they still make their money. That's what I said.
So, Joe, even going into the season, did you come in with the mindset that this team was good enough to go past a wild card round?
Going into the season, yeah. I blame myself because I said they were going to go to the World Series. And on paper, I think that's something that could possibly happen. But, like, I don't know. It's just the same thing every single year, and it's so annoying. Like, this is what's wild, okay? The Astros and the Cardinals are playing, like, the same ball right now. But the Astros are missing Michael Brantley and Jose Altuve and Lance McCullers. The Cardinals, knock on wood, are completely healthy, and they're playing under 500 ball. That's infuriating right there. That's frustrating. Like, there's no reason this team should be, like, the Braves are a really good ball club. Like, that's no taking that away from them. There's no reason that we should get swept at home by the Atlanta Braves. There's no reason for us to play that bad against the Milwaukee Brewers without even facing Corbin Burns. Like, that should not be happening. And it's frustrating watching it, honestly.
Now, in regards to coaching, ever since last year, I haven't seen a whole lot in regards to Ali Marmol. I'd be like, oh, you tripping. Now, one thing I would say would be the wild card game last year. I mean, y'all had Helsley in the game too long. Mm-hmm. And then I would say the Brewers series, when you took out Donovan to have Mater pinch hit, when Donovan can bat against anybody. So I would have kept Donovan in the game. But I think what Ali is doing to start off the very first month of the season is that he's kind of trying to see, okay, what can Tyler O'Neill do for me in center field for the first month, and see if he can really grab hold of it. Let's see how Burleson can do playing at this position. Let's see how this guy can do here, and then when we get to May and June, I can really get a good, evaluation of how these guys react to when I do this.
He had 2 months to do that though, down in Florida.
Right, but I mean, he didn't because you had the guys who was in the WBC. So,
like, Burley had all the time in the world to prove himself, and so did Walker and Gorman. And, like, I'm sorry, Taylor Mater should not be getting important at bats, bases loaded, when you have Yepes on the bench, because Yepes was on the bench. Dylan Carlson was going to bat after that, so, like, whatever. But, like, or even today. Why is Mater getting a start over Yepes? Mm-hmm. That should not. We won. Thank God we won. But, like, why is that happening? Why is Taylor Mater getting that more at bats over Juan Yepes when he's come up here? And since he's been up here, he's got what, 2 homers? 2 homers and like a double or something?
Yeah, and that's why I said I just feel like he's trying to just trying to see what's up with the pieces he got in regards to him putting certain guys in certain situations. I feel like that's going to change next month or in June. Like for instance, Jordan Walker will not be batting eighth or seventh the whole season. He just doing that right now, get things started. So I do feel like there's going to be a lot of changes going on. But I just, I'm still holding off judgment until May, June to see about how this team looks because this team should be a whole lot better by June. That's just my opinion in regards to it. So I have a lot of confidence. It has been hard to watch some games, Joe, but yeah, for the most part, I'm just chilling, sitting back until May or June, and we'll see how this team looks, by that time. Once again, this is your Wednesday night sports delight, the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth, and right below in the kitchen doing her thing, we got
It's your girl Bunny.
and representing from the Boondocks.
Jobo.
There it is. All right, so that was some baseball talk. Outside the Cardinals, any other teams? I know you said earlier, watch out for the who you say,
D-backs.
yeah, the D-backs. But any other team that kind of like got your interest peaking. I know the Orioles been playing pretty good. The Rays, of course, are 11-0. But are there any other teams that people should be keeping an eye on?
It's not positively. Like the Mets are kind of mid right now, and the Phillies are really bad right now. So like those two teams kind of just got my attention because of how bad they've been playing. The Pirates, I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. I didn't think they were going to compete or anything, but I did think that they were going to be a better team this year. They started off good, and then they lost O'Neal Cruz, which sucks. Like that was brutal to watch. He's going to be out for a little bit, but other than that, no, not really. I guess the Rangers are a team that kind of piqued my interest a little bit, but you got the Angels already like just blowing leads to bad teams, and you know Shohei and Mike are probably going to be sitting on their couch in October again, sadly. But it's been a lot of weird baseball. I feel like early on, like I said, the Phillies. I don't think they should be playing as bad as they have been. So,
Right.
but yeah, we'll see. I know we keep saying it's only April, but we keep saying it's only April for the Cardinals, and then we, not make the playoffs by a game or something. So, yeah.
We shall see.
See, because we can get away with this because the Central Division, you always say the last few years is going to be strong, but it hasn't. So, again, we shall see.
Yep, most definitely.
Mariners are another team, too, that's kind of been blah so far. Like, Cubs just took 2-3 from them, I believe, in Wrigley.
Right.
Watch us get the Mariners when they're playing good baseball, but but the Mariners have been surprising me with how bad they've been. So they're supposed to be one of those young, really exciting teams this year. So we'll see how they rebound from that.
Most definitely. Now up to our other St. Louis professional teams. CDSC hasn't been looking too good the last two games. They lost 2 in a row now. Just lost recently to Seattle. Went out there and played in Seattle, and they lost. I believe they were shut out. Joe, is that correct?
Yeah, they been shut out 2 games in a row now, I think.
Yeah. So they faced off against Minnesota, and then last week in Seattle, they lost at home and now lost on the road. And wondering, do you feel like the MLS, the league, is now catching up to St. Louis City SC and their style?
No, I mean I don't think it's the league catching up. I don't know. This last week's game was the first game that they just did not look good at all. Like I could say the week before there was a bad call. They had a lot of really good chances there at the end, but this past week they just looked flat all around. So I don't think it's the league catching up. It might just be getting a little fatigue early on. But I got mad listening to the game on Saturday and the announcers mentioning the whole us getting lucky the first couple games with those bad passes, and we've talked about this already. That's not luck. That's just how we play the game. We put so much pressure on you to make you make mistakes. And so that kind of annoyed me that they brought that up again. But we weren't supposed to be the team that goes undefeated all year long and make the playoffs. It was a surprise to everyone of how they started off. I just think it's a little fatigue. There was, I think, Parker, he was hurt. Well, not hurt, but kind of like, tender going into this game. So I think they'll be fine and just need to get the confidence going again. They just looked a little blah on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking at the standings right now in the West. St. Louis City SC has 15 points. They are 1 point behind the Seattle Sounders. And in the East, Cincinnati is up right now with 17 points. In second place, New England with 16. So, we right there at the thick of things in regards to being one of the top teams in all of MLS. We shall see what happens
this weekend.
Yeah, so we should definitely see how the team bounces back. Now they got some adversity to deal with. Bunny, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, so don't forget, like baseball, this is a very long season. So
very long.
Games, 2 games, losing streak. Now being shut out doesn't help, but at the same time, it can't hit the panic button just yet. And you gotta look at, for some of these guys, I know on the roster, they have I forgot the name, who came from up MLS team, and something happened. So, we still dealing with chemistry and all that. Even they were winning, they were still dealing with stuff that, it's their first season, first 2 games. So, adversity, yes, and this ain't gonna be the last time we talk about it. Because in July, when we're looking at Cardinals hopefully getting their act together and doing a playoff run, we still gonna be talking about this soccer team and what they're gonna do and what their identity is. We still don't know, so early on. Oh, you agree with me? You for the FC team? Yeah. They're number 1.
I will say this.
Okay.
I will say this though. I wonder how St. Louis City SC and of course other teams are going to be when they get to that St. Louis hot weather, because it gets muggy, and especially downtown. I look forward to seeing how these teams are going to play during July and August. That's going to be crazy and very interesting.
Going brutal, and that place is packed too.
But
like
they gotta get
people
into
close.
it, like Cardinals players who are not from the area. When they start playing Cardinal baseball, they like, woo! They get adjusted to it. It is what it is. Part of the growing pains until you after a season or 2, you know what to expect. So,
I don't know what would be easier. How they were playing a couple weeks ago here with gloves on, and their lungs were probably killing them from the ice cold air, or running in a brick wall pretty much outside, with the heat. Because sometimes it feels like that in St. Louis. You walk outside and it feels like you just walk into something and you just want to go back inside after that. So I didn't even think about that. It will be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely will. Because that St. Louis summer, whew, that's a whole nother beast right there. Like, God, why am I out here?
Bring summer on. Bring summer on. Bring summer on. Not Summer Walker.
Let's see, Miss Dub says, think about soccer. They are constantly running. Baseball, not so much. Right.
Yeah, at least when you're running, though, you're getting some sort of a breeze. Baseball, you're just sitting there in the outfield waiting, and you're just like back in the day whenever they played on the turf. Everyone talked about how bad it was down there. I couldn't imagine.
Shoot, you know what? Them outfitters probably gonna be saying, "Thank God for the pitch clock. You ain't gotta wait on Gio Gonzalez to the pitch. I'm not Gonzalez, but Gio. What's his name? Gallego. I'm like Gonzalez. Gallego. He used to be like 20 minutes until he pitched the ball. Now it's like 10 seconds, so they won't be waiting too long no more.
Instead, you get these 7-run innings Miles Michaelis gives up, and you're sitting out there chasing the ball around the field.
Right, because the first game, I was telling the wife, I'm like, okay, you're gonna see a different game now. Might be over in 2 hours. No, it's like a 4-hour game because all them hits and stuff.
I'm happy we left early with Mia being tired, because we would have gotten home to like 8:30 9 o'clock if we stayed for the whole thing.
Man, yeah. But the good thing is that it's a lot of action. So, you don't mind the action. That's what fans are going to the game for, is action. They don't want to pay up $10 to see someone mess with a wristband or glove for 25 seconds, each at bat. They want to see action, and you're getting that with that pitch clock and everything. So it's forcing more action. So I'm down with that. But yeah, so hopefully CDSC can go ahead and bounce back from that adversity and start bringing in some more wins. Now another team that we can now discuss as well, Caw.
Oh, caw. I forgot all about that for a second.
The Battlehawks, they have won 3 in a row. I'm looking at the standings, and they are in second place in the XFL North, right behind the DC Defenders. They are a game behind. Seattle Dragons are in third place, then the Vegas Vipers. The Battlehawks play the Seattle Sea Dragons this weekend here in the Lou. Then in the XFL South, you have the Houston Roughnecks, the Arlington Renegades, the San Antonio Brahmas, and then the Orlando Guardians holding things down. But the 2 best teams in all of XFL are the DC Defenders and the Battlehawks. And let's see, Miss Williams, who is a season ticket holder, she posted a photo the other day of her going to the game and everything, has some great seats. And just got to say, shouts out, man, to St. Louis. I'm talking to the Battlehawks and the Battle Dome Nation, because all they do is just make records at the Dome. As you see, week 4, the game that I was at, they had 38,310. Then week 5, 35,868. And then this past weekend, 35,167. They have 2 more home games at the Dome. Do y'all feel that they will eclipse 40,000 plus before the end of the season?
I don't know now because baseball's like full swing. If it's just like if we legit have the Sunday game, because I know sometimes they'll play like during the week or on a Saturday. But if they have a Sunday game, then I think for sure they could, because sometimes at Busch Stadium, the Sunday games, they aren't completely packed, just depending on who you're playing. So I think we got a chance. I mean, Anthony Beck's on Twitter all the time trying to get as many people as possible to go to the games.
Yeah, I have a feeling, and especially with these being a big, meaningful games in regards to the playoffs, they really want to, let everyone else know that, of course, we the best home field advantage in all of the XFL. And Miss Dub says, if The Rock came to one of the last 2 games, we definitely would. That's true. Because I thought that he'll be at the game I went to, their first home game, but unfortunately, that was the same week as the Grammys. And he was one of the presenters, for that. I'm not for the Grammys, but for the Academy Award night. So that's why he wasn't there. But especially once again, these playoff implications and having just 2 more home games, these fans are going to want to show up and show out and, keep on bringing that energy like you see, right here. Just and I love how the ESPN broadcasters, they definitely let everyone know who's watching that St. Louis is definitely a football town, and how they come out and support. Because just hearing the crowd noise from TV or just being there in person, it has really been a beautiful thing to see. And it's even better because you have a team that's actually winning. And the Battlehawks won via overtime, the first overtime game in XFL history. And it was pretty interesting how they did overtime.
That was wild.
Each team gets a possession, but it's not like you get, 4 downs. You start right at I believe the 10-yard line or something like that. And if you don't you get 3 chances, the best of 3. And the first team gets the opportunity. If they don't get a touchdown, then it's the next team's turn. If that team gets a touchdown, then you get an X. Then you go to round 2 and do the same thing. And it's the best of 3. So if you get like a penalty called on you, if you're on offense, your possession is gone. If it's not a touchdown, your possession is gone. I like that rule, and I got a feeling that the NFL may take something like that in the future and bring it along. When you saw those rules and how the Battlehawks won, Joe, what was your thoughts about that? You think that the NFL could bring that into play as well?
First, I felt like I was watching a shootout in hockey, which was wild. Like, that was intense. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a couple things that NFL could take from the XFL to make the game better. So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, Bunny, did you get a chance to check out the game? Oh, I think she's gone for a second, so we'll wait till she come on back. Oh, there she go.
Yeah, you said, have I had a chance to check out any of the games for Battlehawks?
Yeah.
Of course, not in person. I'm not rich, but no, I haven't got the chance to see. I only get to see the highlights, but been good highlights though. And I like that we had overtime win. We considered when I watch ESPN when they talk about the XFL, we are one of the contenders, or doing playoff run with the XFL. So definitely we are been recognized on a national level for our attendance that you just posted. But yeah. I eventually get to sit and watch, but y'all know it's hard for me. Hey, I can't even watch baseball games. The game ended up watching me, even with the faster pace. Go figure.
You know, and the whole replay thing too with the XFL. I like how they do that. That'd probably be one thing that I would like to see the NFL do for sure, is how quick the replay is and how they show the guys, behind the camera talking to the broadcast on, why they made that decision and whatnot. That's one thing I've actually really enjoyed watching.
Yeah, and I agree. I love seeing the transparency. No matter if it's a replay call or it's a penalty call, you'll hear Dean Blandino, the head of officiating, talking to the crew. Yeah, number 57 holding on the left side, whatever, and then they relay it to the referee. Referee would say it, in person. But I just love seeing that transparency. So there's a lot of things that the XFL has done to be innovative that I feel like the NFL is going to definitely take, especially getting away from like doing onside kicks and maybe do like a 4th and 15, 4th and 20, and also the kickoff and how you have to have everyone can move until the receiver team caught the ball. Then you can move. So I like what they're doing, and I see the NFL taking a few of those ideas.
They will, because I read that on one of the sources that's worked with XFL, they're saying they're not competing with the NFL, so they are collaborating, and they talked about some of the things that you mentioned the XFL has that they want the NFL to adopt. So when they had their rules and with the rules regulations committee gets together, some of these ideas XFL brought up this coming meetings, but when will they implement it? That I don't know.
Yeah, Mr. Dub said the kickoff rules protect the receiver, and that's the whole plan. You just want to protect the receivers and everyone who's going to be involved in those plays. This makes things safer. So I love the way the XFL is doing things. Now, with that being said, my only concern about the XFL, now Danny Garcia and The Rock said they will be back for next year, so that's already put down, set in stone. But my issue is that St. Louis can't be the only team that's bringing out people. Because I saw after the game last Saturday, Joe, once the overtime game ended between the Battlehawks and the Vegas Vipers, they immediately went to the game against Orlando and some other team. And it was like 2 people in the stands. So you watch from the St. Louis Battlehawks game where it's just pandemonium and crazy to go into another game where it's quiet, like you watching a tennis match and everyone has to be quiet before the serve. That's how bad it was. And that's my only concern about the XFL is how can they maintain stability if you don't have other markets that show them more love. It may not have to be to the same degree as St. Louis, but it has to be damn near close. As you know what I'm saying? And Miss Dub saying that's true. And she's seen it at other games as well, where you leave from one game, it's pandemonium. This game, you at the Masters.
Yeah, I
and
think
it's quiet.
the only teams I've seen that have really like filled up the stadium somewhat is the Battlehawks, Houston, Seattle's, and DC Defenders. Those are like the 4 teams that I've seen that actually like. And again, those are like the better teams, in the league. So maybe that's why. I'm sure Anthony Beck going out there and doing everything he can to try to get the city excited. Us having some hometown kids, maybe that helps out too. But I don't know. I don't know what you could do to help it because you got 2 Texas teams, but you already have 2 Texas football, NFL teams too. So
They had 3.
Oh, they have 3. Oh my gosh. See, I don't know. Maybe Texas just they don't really. They gotta they gotta choose someone to cheer for, So I don't know. I don't know how you maybe get to San Diego have a team.
Let's see, and that's gonna be my idea. I was gonna say you need to have reward a team like San Diego. Give them a team and focus on markets that has been craving football. Like maybe a team at Alabama because you have the Crimson Tide. People love football out there. Focus on markets that just love football crazy. That it doesn't matter if you have 5-year-olds playing. They're gonna still sell out the arena or at least have a good showing. You know what I'm saying? For the stadium.
That's
So
obviously
focus
one
on
of the main reasons why we're selling out so much, is because the Rams were taken away from us, screw Stan Kroenke, all that stuff. So San Diego would be a good team to give, or Oakland even, or something, like Oakland gets the short end of the stick for baseball coming up, and Oakland Raiders, now Las Vegas Raiders. So maybe go to teams that have had, something taken away from them, or cities, and maybe that'll help out.
And Ms. Williams, to answer your question, no, they no longer have the Chargers. They moved to LA like the St. Louis Rams did. So the LA has the Rams and the Chargers. So that's why Joe brought up San Diego. And so I feel like it would be a good idea to bring a team to San Diego because I'm pretty sure those fans out there would be going crazy to have some professional football that was taken away from them like it was in St. Louis. But that's where they need to market because that's how you're going to bring people out. And then that's going to help the longevity because you can't just have St. Louis be the only team that's coming out with 30-some thousand people. You got to have more teams to come out with more people come out to the game. So
but you also
we shall.
USFL is about to pop off. They need to do a margin. Shouldn't have to compete, quote unquote, minor league football team. That doesn't make any sense. The market is not that big that they should combine it. And that could help too.
Yeah, because like you said, the USFL starts this weekend, and they have teams in Michigan, and I think they have a New York team or something like that. So, we'll see what happens. Miss Dub says if they see how the Battlehawks are exciting fans, maybe they will work to get one. It just really depends on, like what Joe said, you got 3 Texas teams. There's no reason to have 3 of them. Take one of them teams and move to San Diego or whatever it is. But with that being said, before we continue on, Bunny, I know you got to go ahead and go. So thank you for your time, and you have a great rest of your evening. You and the kids over there.
Thank you y'all so much. Good chatting with you all. Mommy duties are in full effect. Tell them bye-bye. Bye-bye.
So cute.
Peace out.
So they grow up and start whining and crying like the towers that they do. But here we are. This is the last of the innocents.
Right. We all have a good one.
You too. Good night.
Good night.
All right. Now it's down to the final 2. Joe Bo and I. Miss Dub says bye, Bunny. So once again, this is the Platform Sporstalk Show. Once again, if you did not see earlier, our special guest, he had to reschedule. So we will plan on getting him back on the show very soon. He had an engagement to attend to that he found out very last minute, and he felt bad about it. But we would definitely get him back on. In the meantime, get them likes, get them shares going, continue to support the Platform Sports Talk Show. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but 6 years now, yo. officially 6 years doing what we do every Wednesday, y'all. Started in April 2017, and it was an amazing, an amazing ride, y'all. And still here, still doing big things, incredible guests, the whole nine. Just seeing the maturity of this show, the growth of this show, and you got a whole lot more to go, y'all. So 6 years in the game, and Miss Dub, woohoo!
It's awesome.
Appreciate it. Yep, definitely is. And it's for people like Miss Dub who shows us love all the time, consistently. That's why we do it, because we love to talk about sports and hear special guests and their stories being told. That's what it's all about here on your Wednesday night sports delight. So let's get right into basketball talk. Of course, I'll lead that because Joe, knows a little bit of basketball, but I ain't gonna say Joe. What are your thoughts about this? But real quick, wanted to bring this up. Shouts out to Dwayne Wade, Paul Gasol, Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker, Greg Popovich, and also from the WNBA, Becky Hammon. They have been officially been called into the Basketball Hall of Fame. The ceremonies will be going down in a few months, but a huge shout out to these players and to Becky Hammon as well, who's not on the screen right now. There should be a very nice class, as you can see, very talented class, and another sign, Joe, that I'm old.
Though, 4 of those 5 faces look familiar. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
So,
I mean,
seeing them, in their prime, they were incredible guys, and they are definitely deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. But it's like, man, you saw them players do their thing, and now they retired. Or now Coach Popovich still doing this thing. He may need to retire, but he's still doing this thing right now with the Spurs. But just to see these guys here, and now they about to go into the Hall of Fame, hell of a class right there, and shouts out. Which also you got to go back to LeBron James. He's still in the league, and he came out the same year as Dwayne Wade. Him and I think Chris Paul came out a year before or after, I think. But seeing LeBron still doing his thing at this time, but other guys have retired or hasn't been called back up to play, like Carmelo Anthony. He hasn't played now in over a year. But just seeing LeBron do what he does is really amazing. So once again, shouts out to Dwayne Wade, to Paul Gasol, to Dirk Nowitzki, to Tony Parker, and to Coach Popovich. Now, going right into the NBA playoffs. Last night, you had the first 2 games of the play-in tournament where you had the 7th seed Lakers face off against the 8th seed Timberwolves. Then you had the 7th seed in the East, the Miami Heat, face off against the 8th seed Atlanta Hawks. And as you see on the screen, the Atlanta Hawks, the 8th seed, won last night. So they will face off against Joe's boy, Jason Tatum, and the Boston Celtics. It'll be a 2-7 matchup, while on the West, the Lakers advance now, and they will face off against the Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant's team. And that's going to be an incredible series that starts off this weekend. That's going to be amazing. Tonight's games, you have 9th versus 10th seed in both the East and the West. You have the Raptors versus the Bulls. Then you have the Pelicans versus the Thunder. The winner of tonight's game will play the loser of the games from yesterday. So the Timberwolves and the Heat are awaiting the winner of tonight's game between, once again, the Pelicans versus the Thunder and the Raptors versus the Bulls. Then the winner of that game versus either the Timberwolves and, of course, the Heat matchup, that will determine who the first number 1 seed in both the East and the West. So as you see on your screen, the Nuggets are awaiting the winner of the 8th versus winner of the 9th, 10th seed. And then the Bucks are waiting on the winner of course, of the 7th versus the winner of the 9th and 10th seed. So a whole lot going on with the play-in tournament, but it's very exciting. This is good for the league. They need to do something to, keep the viewers going, the ratings and everything. So next game gonna be pretty exciting. And of course, the loser is out. So gotta see what's happening. But the NBA playoffs, everything officially begins this Saturday. But you got the play-in tournament going on right now, so it's very exciting and can't wait. Joe, if you had a team that you want to pick to go all the way, who you got?
I want to see the why am I blanking? The hometown guy, Jason Tatum, to go. I think that'd be cool. That'd be good for the city of St. Louis. Couldn't think of the word hometown, but anyways, but yeah, I think it'd be cool to see him go. I love seeing him and his son and his family on Twitter all the time, and that'd be awesome. But if not for him and the Celtics, I don't know. The Bucks have always been kind of fun to watch, honestly. From what I see on Sports Center and on Twitter and whatnot.
Yeah, that's who I have going. I want Boston to go all the way in the East, but I feel like I'm about to say Buccaneers. The Milwaukee Bucks, I feel like they're going to win in the East. Now in the West, it's crazy. I don't trust the Nuggets to go all the way. That 4th and 5th matchup, Suns and Clippers should be very good. KD versus Russell Westbrook. 3rd and 6th matchup, the Kings versus the Nuggets. I mean, oh Lord, the Nuggets. What's wrong with me tonight? The Kings versus the Warriors. How can I mess up my wife's team, the Warriors? That should be an incredible series right there. I'm going to say that Golden State will win that series because the Kings haven't felt playoff pressure in up 10 years. It's the first time they've been in the playoffs in about 10 years or so. And you got the defending champion Warriors. I feel like when they get down to it, the Warriors are going to show why they are a championship team.
And Steph is completely healthy.
Yes, he's back. He's ready to roll. The whole team is pretty much healthy.
Yeah, and so it'd be hard to, pick against them.
Yeah, and to get Andrew Wiggins back too. He's been gone for a few months dealing with a personal matter. So having him back is going to be critical for the Warriors. And then for the Lakers and Grizzlies matchup, man, this is a tough one because I love my Lakers. I want them to win so bad. Golly, but I gotta go ahead and say the Grizzlies are just a better team. I want to be wrong. If I am wrong, I'll be glad. I'll be like, let's go Lakers. But I just feel like the Grizzlies have too much for the Lakers. Other matchups in the East, we have 4th seed Cavaliers versus 5th seed Knicks. That series there, man, that's going to be tough. I'm going to say the Cavaliers go ahead and beat the Knicks. And then you have the 76ers versus the Nets. I got Philadelphia 76ers. Then Boston versus the Hawks. I got Boston. So once again, NBA playoffs, the play-in going in right now. The official playoffs begin this weekend. Very exciting times in sports. And, with that being said, Joe, we in this show about a half hour early, baby.
It's weird.
It's weird, but hey, we got what we want to discuss out the way. Once again, we apologize that we couldn't have our special guest on tonight due to a last-minute prior engagement, but we will get him back very, very, very soon. Once again, make sure y'all go ahead and show us love on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. Subscribe, click on that
bell.
Because anytime we go live, Joe,
you will be notified.
You can also follow us on Roku. Just put in the Platform Sporstalk Show on your Roku, TVs, devices, whatever it is. Check out all the archive shows. We on Instagram as well at Platform Sports Talk. You can email us platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. Of course, we on that Hot 365 Radio. Got the HD, clear voices and everything. Also, twitch.tv/hot365 radio. Of course, every first Wednesday of the month, as you heard and saw last week. Ladies' night. Then, of course, every last Wednesday of the month, you have the Man Cave. Ms. Dub says she doesn't have ESPN, so she can't watch the playoffs, or at least the early rounds. So the playoffs will be on ABC, ESPN, and TNT, Miss Dub. So you should have us a few options to be able to to watch the games and the whole nine. But with that being said, I'm your boy Smooth, along with
Joe, Bo.
Joe Bo. This is a Platform Sports Talk Show. Y'all check us out next week. Another great show, and we do plan on having a special guest. He'll be a 3-time returner to the show. Y'all stay tuned to all the promo that's going to be coming up very soon. But with that being said, y'all have a great rest of y'all evening. We out.